4 things to watch offense against the Commanders. This is from Sports Illustrated. Number 1, does Deshaun Watson look comfortable? We've talked about that already. Number 2, Elijah Moore makes his debut. Number 3, which wide receiver will step up? And number 4, can DeJuan Jones have a repeat performance? G. Bush, I want to see Elijah Moore, and I want to see how that chemistry has developed. I'm curious as if we see. I think we'll see more some, and I want to see him and Watson working together.
Yeah, Elijah Moore has been the talk of the camp. Offensively, he's been the guy who's garnered most of the headlines because of what he's able to do. They've moved him in the side. They've moved him to slot. He's played outside at the X in the Z position. He's played. He's been in the backfield. He's motioned in the backfield. They've run screens with him out of the backfield, tunnels, screens, bubble screens, whatever you want to do. He's a guy, and you notice the quick twitch nature. You notice the playmaking ability when he gets the ball. And you notice how much separation he creates by the fact that he is such a good route runner, as well as a guy that has that speed to add to that. So I think when you watch this game, you're going to see a lot of Elijah Moore. I think, I'm anxious to see myself who Deshaun Watson will gravitate to. It's kind of like back in the day. Remember when, Hollywood Higgins wasn't a great practice player, and a lot of coaches, because he wasn't a great practice player, they weren't going to put him in the game. But it got to a point where, injuries and the schedule and your record really dictated, okay, let's see what he got. And we found out that him and Baker Mayfield had a tremendous chemistry. It wasn't the fact that Hollywood was the biggest, the fastest, the strongest. It was the fact that Baker Mayfield would trust where he was going to be at, and they had this uncanny ability to come up with big plays. Every quarterback has a guy that they feel super comfortable with. So I'm anxious to see if that's going to be Moore or that's going to be Cooper, DPJ, somebody, right? I'm going to watch out for that. And as far as DeJuan Jones, I think he's a guy that should be getting reps at both positions. I think he can still keep that up. One thing that you can't, like you said, you can't coach guys that are strong, big, and are going to be able to do that to you. So he's always going to be big. It's just up to you what your plan of attack is, because his arms are just so long that when he punches on the defensive end, it's like it stops their momentum and they automatically just fall forward. It's just, and then he lays on them. But he has great feet, played basketball, and as a defensive end, anytime I'm going up against a guy and I see the scout report, there's 2 guys that I might have a long day with. One of those guys, if you were a former defensive lineman, that is now transferred over to offensive line. Because now I know, I'm like, that you got feet. You played on the D-line. And the other guy is a guy who knows how to play basketball at some point in his life. I know for a fact you got feet worked in, because if you can dribble and move the way you want to at the same time without traveling, I know you can mirror somebody on the defensive line. So he has the tools. I'm anxious to see if he can pull it off 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah, 6'8", 360, nimble feet. Yeah, that's not. Sounds like a long day for a defensive lineman.
Yes, sir.